Hi, everybody. It is 9 o'clock on Monday night on the East Coast. That means it can only mean one thing. It is time for the Monday Night Huddle Show, our NFL preview edition. Going to be a great show for you guys tonight. We're going to be going through each of the divisions tonight, telling you who's going to win, talking about the key additions, the key losses for all the teams, and we'll also give you our Super Bowl prediction. We have Rob the Shark from RTS going to join us a little bit. And a little bit later, I think Cardshark Chris is going to be joining us as well. Before we get started on that, though, I just want to give you an update on hot boxes. September hot boxes have shipped. A lot of them have shipped, not all of them yet, but they're getting close to. All the baseball subscribers should have their tracking numbers by now, and majority of the football. I should have football finished up, I think, tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest, probably. So, and also I'm wearing my York College alumni shirt. Look at that, folks. I'm a York College of Pennsylvania alumni. So got my degree in mass communications. I can communicate to the masses, which is what I do here on this channel to my 216 YouTube followers. So with that being said, we have Rob's going to join us here in a second. Hopefully he doesn't have any more technical difficulties. He is coming from Atlantic City. He's coming from the big city, folks. He's a big-time spender, a big-time player. He's going to give us all the insight on this new NFL season. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit the like button if you're on Facebook Live as well. Plus, we want to hear about your comments. You know what you think about our predictions on each division and who your Super Bowl prediction is as well. With that being said, let's bring on the man himself, the man, the legend, Rob the Shark from RTS Sportcards.
What's
Rob,
up,
can you hear
everyone?
me, sir?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
All
You're
right.
having technical difficulties right before we came on, but
Yeah.
you are looking good right now. Our buddy Cardshark Chris is going to be joining us here after a while, hopefully. He had an emergency he had to take care of, but we got Rob. That's all we need is Rob the Shark. He can handle all this.
Cardshark will be missed, though.
Yes. Rob, what do you got going on over at RTS? You have any breaks coming up soon?
Not this week, but we should have a bunch of stuff pretty soon. I know Topps Chrome is coming out, so we'll have that shortly.
Okay. What do you think? They just released the photos of the 2023 Topps. Did you get a chance to look at those?
I did. I liked it a lot. I like when there's a border because I didn't like 2020 without the border. 2021 did have the border, or was it 21 or 22? One of them didn't have a border. 2020, right. I think. So I didn't like that, but I like 2023 has a border. I like that they showed the Adley Rushman and they had the little Oriole underneath it. I really, really liked it. What did you think of it?
I liked it a lot. Plus, I can read it.
Yeah.
So that's the big, at our age, that's a big thing. We just need to be able to read it.
Yeah.
And I noticed somebody posted like every 20 years, they do the Topps card has the little picture of the guy in the down corner. 1973, 1983, 2003, and now 2023. They all have a little photo of the guy on the bottom corner of the card. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I like that design.
Yeah, I like them, and they look kind of different. So I kind of like them as well. All right, Rob, we got to talk about the NFL 2022 NFL season. Getting ready to start, I believe, this Thursday already.
Yep.
It came by quick, man.
Very quick.
We're going to go through each division, talk about each division, who's going to win, and what our thoughts are on each division. And I know you've done a lot of research on this, so you are well prepared, my friend. Just an inside joke between me and Rob.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start off in our favorite division, and that's the NFC East. We got the Giants, I almost said Redskins, the Commanders, yes, Eagles, Cowboys. Key additions: AJ Brown now is with the Eagles. Carson Wentz is with the Commanders. I don't know if that's a big addition. Losses: the only loss I really saw in the league was Amari Cooper left the Cowboys, which was a big loss. But other than that, there wasn't really any big losses in the NFC East. The big thing was AJ Brown coming over and Wentz. How do you think Wentz is going to do in Washington? I mean, his time in Indianapolis was a little up and down. What do you think he's going to do in the nation's capital?
I'm not sure how I feel about Carson Wentz. Obviously, he was number 2 pick. He was the one that came from not the NCAA Division I. He was Division II.
South Dakota, I believe. Dakota State. I think it was the same place Trey Lance came from.
Right. And I've always been iffy on him. I'm not really sure. And now he's coming into a new system. So I don't see a lot of great things for him this year. I think we might see Tyler Heineke if he doesn't get his stuff together shortly.
Yeah. I don't. Is he still the back? I don't even know if he's the backup anymore. I can't keep up with the starters, let alone the backups
Yeah,
anymore.
I believe so. I believe so. Heineke,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So let me tell you what I think the NFC East is going to look like. I was on Dave's channel over Zero Fox Sports Cards. We do a golf channel on there. We did our NFL picks, and I'm actually changing my NFL pick from that. Originally, I went with the Cowboys. Now I'm going to have to bite the bullet as a Giants fan. I'm going to say it's going to be the Eagles winning the NFC East.
Going to be the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm not big on AJ Brown. I don't think AJ Brown's gonna be that big of an addition, but we're already seeing Philly. We're already seeing Dallas losing offensive linemen. Though I did just see they're bringing in Jason Peters, the former Eagles offensive lineman, great. But I think he's a little past his prime. Losing Amari Cooper, I think, is going to be huge for them. I know they got Gallup and CD Lamb still, but Cooper was a big part of that offense. Zeke's getting older. I don't know. And then, of course, our Giants aren't going to do anything, you know. So they're going to be playing for last place, and I don't see the Commanders doing anything with Carson Wentz.
No.
What say you, NFC East? Who you got for the NFC East?
Well, I had it close between the Cowboys and the Eagles. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. As much as I hate to say it being a Giants fan, I think the Cowboys are just about peaking. Zach and Deke, they're not that old. They're not that old. So I think this might be the height of their career. Maybe they're coming back off the top of their careers, but I see them just edging the Eagles. And actually, I was looking at the bets. I think the best bet as far as betting the NFL is on FanDuel. They have the Cowboys or the Eagles winning the NFC East, either one at even odds. So I think that's a good bet, on FanDuel. Yeah. Plus 110. Yep.
Wow, that's pretty good. Now, as a Giants fan, does it hurt you more picking the Cowboys or for me, it's picking the Eagles.
For me, it's picking the Cowboys, I think.
Really?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of front-running Cowboy fans in Jersey for some reason. And I always tease them because they're like, "Oh, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan." And I'm always like, "Oh, You're from Texas?" No, I'm from here. Like, I can understand Philly fans in New Jersey because obviously it's right over the border there, but I don't understand all the Cowboy fans in Jersey.
Yeah, well, for me, as a Pennsylvania boy, you can't stand the Eagles. I can't stand the Eagles. I just can't root for them. I mean, how many times did we see LT and Carl Banks try to tackle Randall Cunningham, and they killed us every time?
Yeah.
See, the NFC East, back when we were growing up, the Giants always lost the Eagles. The Giants always beat Washington, and Washington always beat Philadelphia. It was kind of weird, those three teams.
And we always lost to the Eagles in the strangest ways, too, at the last second.
Yeah, you'd have Deshaun Jackson returning that kick, Cunningham with that 90-some yard punt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was just some crazy plays. And then that one time where Carl Banks hits Cunningham low, and he still stays on his feet and throws a touchdown pass. That's just
the miracle at the Meadowlands. All the Giants had to do was down the ball. All they had to do was down the ball. There was some miscommunication in the huddle, so he went to go hand it off. The guy wasn't ready for the handoff, and Herman Edwards took it back for a touchdown in the last second.
Thank goodness I think I was only like 1 or 2 at that time.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember seeing.
Thank goodness, because I would have died. That would have been horrible.
That Deshaun Jackson game was pretty bad though too.
Yeah, I just hate Deshaun Jackson. Just hate him.
Yeah, and then the Giants coach was blaming the punter incorrectly.
Yeah.
He told the punter to kick it to him. And then when he came off and on the interview, he said he told the kicker to kick it out of bounds. And everyone on the Giants sideline stuck up for the punter and said, "No, we heard you. You said punt it to him."
Crazy times in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Our Giants. All right, let's go over to the NFC North. We have key additions, not too much key addition wise. So Darius Smith has left the Packers and went to the Vikings. Sammy Watkins signed with the Packers. Now we do have some major losses, though. Of course, Darius Smith leaving the Packers, going to the Vikings. Devontae Adams leaving, and Khalil Mack for the Bears leaving as well. And this whole NFC is just, I think it's horrible this year, the NFC, because everybody's left pretty much. But somebody's got to win the NFC North. Let's start with you first. Who do you got in the NFC North this year?
NFC North, I got the Packers again. As long as Aaron Rodgers is playing, I mean, you always have to give it to the Packers. As I said this last year, but as big as Aaron Rodgers is and as notable as he is, I still think he's underrated for some reason, I don't know, maybe just being on the East Coast, we don't hear a lot about him, and he always has amazing seasons. I know we're going to hear Rodgers to Rodgers with Amari Rodgers over there for the Packers, and I just see them winning the division. I mean, who do you got? The Vikings, Kirk Cousins. I mean, there's not much there. You got to go with the Packers winning the division.
I'm going with the Vikings.
Really?
I think this whole Aaron Rodgers calling out his young wide receivers already, losing Devontae Adams, all this controversy is going to catch up to Aaron Rodgers, and I think this is the year it catches up to him.
You think so? That's a bold prediction.
People do not like Aaron Rodgers. Unless you're a Packers fan, there's a lot of people who dislike Aaron Rodgers. And I think a lot of his teammates, and I think the front office dislike him too. Not that I have any sources, but I know one Packer fan. But yeah, I think the Vikings picking up Darius Smith's going to be big. I think losing Devontae Adams is going to be huge for the Packers. Yeah. I mean, Sammy Watkins is good when he's healthy, but he's maybe healthy for a third of the season. And they also lost Scantling. He went to the Chiefs. That's another Packer wide receiver. So you have Randall Cobb, who's getting up there in age, doesn't have the speed anymore, and then you have some young wide receivers.
Amari Rodgers, though, Rodgers to Rodgers. I think we're going to be hearing a lot of that this year.
All right, we'll see.
Sammy Watkins too. I don't think he's over the hill just yet. We'll see.
As long as he can stay healthy. But the Vikings are good. I mean, they're solid passing. They're solid running. Dalvin Cook's a great runner. Defense is pretty. It's gonna be a close division. I mean, they're not gonna blow anything away, but they're gonna be right there as a solid team.
Yeah.
Plus, everybody gets to play the Bears twice. There's 2 wins.
True, that's true.
And who's the other team in the division? Viking, Bears,
Lions.
Everybody gets to play the Lions twice.
Yeah, true.
So,
although the Lions had 2 number 1 draft picks this year. Still early for them, but I see the Lions doing good things in the future.
Cardshark Chris has been saying that for 15 years.
I know, but they had a good draft. They had a really good draft.
Still waiting on that on those things to come through. All right, so that is our NFC North. So NFC East, we got Rob has the Cowboys and I have the Eagles, and Rob has the Packers for the North and I have the Vikings. So far, we're total opposites on our picks so far. Now, Rob did mention something before we started, that there are some new rule changes. And we're going to call this a new segment. Let me find my thing here. Rules with Rob. All right, Rob, tell us all the new rules for the 2022 NFL season.
Okay, now this one should be expected because of the extended roster last year because of COVID. We are back to the 53-man roster. So obviously injuries are going to be very key. You only got a 53-man roster. You do have 69 with your practice squad, 48 for game day. So any injuries are going to affect people again. Again, extended roster for COVID, back to the 53-man roster, and 48 dressed. Now in overtime, originally with the newer overtime rules, if the first team scored a touchdown, game was over. Not anymore. Now each team will have a chance to score. So even if you get a touchdown on the first possession, the other team still will have a chance to tie. Now, the only weird rule about this is if the receiving team gets a safety, the game ends. Also, there's a couple other small rule changes with the kickoffs. There's different formations. Nothing exciting about that, but I thought the overtime one with both teams being able, having an opportunity to score is going to be a big thing for overtime, and it'll make overtime more exciting, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that basically came from the Bills-Chiefs playoff game this past year, I think. But then again, if anybody could play any defense, they wouldn't have had to let the Bills score in I think the Bills or the Chiefs, one of them scored in 13 seconds, a touchdown to tie the game, to send it to overtime. So, play a little defense. You don't have to worry about it. That's what I always say.
Yes. And not a rule change, but there's going to be obviously the age of stats. There's going to be a lot more stats for defensive backs, corners, safeties. There's going to be new coverage classification stats.
Oh,
so be sure and look for that. It'll be able to single out the best, coverage backs in the game this year.
All right, we will definitely look forward to that. And I think your thing on the safety, it's not the receiving team gets a safety. The defense, if the receiving team gets the ball and the defense scores the safety, yes.
Right, yes.
Yes, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Because then the offense will just go in their own touchdown and just
We win.
Yes, we win. All right, that was Rules with Rob. All right, let's go on to the NFC South. We are breezing by. Let me know if you guys have any comments of any of our divisions here. Chris Ellis is going to tell us who he thinks is going to win the two divisions we went. He says the Eagles in the NFC East and the Packers in the NFC North. So what Chris did right there was like Switzerland. He went with one of my picks and one of your picks to make it even that way. I like what he was thinking there. We'll hear from Chris Ellis here in a little bit on his Super Bowl prediction. We have a little video from Chris and his son we will get to in a little bit. All right, let's go down to the South, NFC South, the land that Tom Brady has ruled. He is back. I guess that would be kind of a key addition because he retired and then came back. So I guess you could say that's a key addition. You also got Marcus Mariota has gone to the Falcons. Baker Mayfield is in Carolina now. The Saints picked up Jarvis Landry and Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. Good pickups, I think. Key losses, not much of a loss for the Falcons. They lost Matt Ryan. They technically lost Calvin Ridley for the year because of, gambling. I don't think Gronk is back this year. I don't
Gronk I think is remaining retired, I believe.
Yeah, and then the Bucs also lost Pierre-Paul and Adonijah Suh. Though Adonijah Suh hasn't signed with anybody, he could come back with the Bucs if he wanted to.
He might, yeah.
Yep. So NFC South, I think it's going to be it's basically going to come down to two teams. It's going to come down to the Saints, I think, and the Bucs.
I agree.
I think Carolina might surprise people, though. I think if Baker gets on a roll, he might surprise people. Carolina was actually pretty good last year, especially if Christian McCaffrey can stay healthy. That's the big if he can stay healthy. My pick, though, I'm going to go with an upset this year. Okay. I'm going with the Saints.
Okay.
I'm going Jameis Winston is going to figure it out. You had Jarvis Landry to that team. Now you had another great safety in Matthew. You still got Alvin Kamara there. I think Mark Ingram came back too to back up Kamara.
He did, yeah.
Though he didn't do much when he was in Baltimore, but maybe back in New Orleans, that'll help him out a little bit. But I think this is Winston's year. I think he takes them to the playoffs and wins the NFC South with the Bucs right behind them. I can see Brady. If you remember, Rob, when I had you first on for the Audible show, we had a question for you. How many more Super Bowls will Tom Brady win? You said 1, and I said 0. And so far, I almost had that bet when he retired. I was going to call you out on it when he retired, but then he unretired.
Brady is not retiring without one more Super Bowl. He will go to 50 if he has to.
That'll be coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
So what do you think for the NFC South? You think it's going to be just Bucs and Saints, or what do you got for the NFC South?
No, I agree. I think it's going to be close between the Bucs and Saints. I do think that's a really key addition to get Ingram back for the Saints because Kamara doesn't have to just take the entire load. He's going to have a really good running back in Mark Ingram. I mean, Mark Ingram was amazing before Alvin got there. So that's going to be a big addition for the Saints. I'm not buying Jameis Winston, though. I've never really bought him. So I'm going to go with the Bucs. I'm not, like I said last year, I'm not a Brady fan, but he's the GOAT. He's the absolute GOAT of any sport ever. Tom Brady is just amazing. And he's still as good as ever. I can't see him retiring without one more Super Bowl. So if he doesn't do it this year, I see him coming back next year. So I'm going to go with the Bucs.
I'm going to go with the Bucs. All right. Chris Ellis also says the Bucs. I just don't think it this year. I think you're losing. They didn't really add anybody great to their team this year. So they lost Adonijah Suh. They lost Jason Pierre-Paul. That's 2 of their better pass rushers. And you're losing Gronk too, your tight end. I guess they could go pick up OJ Howard again because he got released by Buffalo, but I think he's losing his weapons. So I could see, his defense, I think, is going to take a major hit. So we'll see what happens with them. And I think you agree with Mark Ingram too. And Mark Ingram's also, I think this week, he's going to get that short yardage touches, that goal line touches that really beats a running back up. That short yardage where you're just hitting people, pounding them left and right. And Kamara might not be built for that, but Mark Ingram is definitely built for that. I think that will help them out.
I agree, yeah.
Kamara's career go as well. But yeah, I think it's Saints. You're going with, I saw a stat. 25 Perez says, that's right. I forgot about this. The Bucs did pick up Julio Jones, but Julio was not very good last year at all. So we'll see which Julio shows up. I can see Julio maybe being. They have good wide receivers. They got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Exactly.
Good. Yeah. Adding Julio will help, but I don't know.
And they didn't have Godwin towards the end of last year, so they got Godwin back. So I still think the Bucks, but I agree. I think the Saints are going to be close.
I think so. I saw a stat: most passing yards in your first 5 seasons in the NFL. Peyton Manning was 1. Jameis Winston was 2.
Well, that's because his teams were always losing by 30 points.
And I think 3 was like Elway or Marino or something.
Yeah.
Something like crazy like that. But still, that's impressive. Now, they didn't say about interceptions, but that's another story. That's another story, folks. All right, we're going to take a quick break because we're going to we have a video here from Chris Ellis. We got some of our YouTube friends and family to send us videos on who they think is going to win the Super Bowl this year. So we're going to hear from our boy Chris Ellis on who he thinks is going to win the Super Bowl.
Hi, Matt. This is Chris Ellis, Card Guy, and Collectible Chris, and we are going to give you our predictions for the Super Bowl.
All right, so for me, I'm going with number 1 seeds going against each other. Defensive game, LA Rams returning to go against the Buffalo Bills, but I got the Bills winning over the Rams 22-13, with Josh Allen being MVP with 1 interception, 2 TDs with 290 passing yards.
And I got the Bills over the Packers 27-20, with Von Miller being the Super Bowl MVP. And this is Collectible Chris, Card Guy on YouTube, and also on Facebook, Chris Ellis Card Guy. And this is
Collectible Chris on TikTok.
All right. And thank you, Matt, and have a great rest of the show.
All right, that's our boy Chris Ellis, the Card Guy. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel, Chris Ellis, the Card Guy. He's been doing a great job of breaking down the MLB season all season, and now he started breaking down the NFL teams on guys you should collect, the MVPs, different things like that. He's been doing him and his son have been doing a great job over there. Chris Ellis, the Card Guy. Let's bring our boy back, Rob the Shark. Rob, we heard Chris Ellis. They're going with I think they went with the Bills. They also gave us the MVP of the Super Bowl too, both of them. So that we're not going to pick that. That's too hard.
Who did he predict? I couldn't hear. I was backstage.
Now they both picked the Bills. I know his son picked the Rams and Bills, and Chris picked. Man, I was not paying attention. Chris, tell us who you picked for the Super Bowl again. Chris will tell us here in a second. Though when they do their video, Chris is wearing a NWO hat, and I keep thinking it's NWA hat.
What is NWO? Oh, the wrestling.
Yeah, New World Order. Okay. Chris picked Bills and Packers. Bills and Packers with the Bills winning. Yes. Chris, I liked your hat, the NWO hat. We'll have to get you an NWA hat too and send that to you. Not the National Wrestling Association either. So we will check that out. All right, let's move on. We're going to go to the NFC West. And the NFC West, the key additions are Marquise Brown of the Cardinals, Allen Robinson with the Rams, Drew Lock, kind of an addition to Seattle. But there are a lot of losses. Christian Kirk left the Cardinals. Odell Beckham's gone from the Rams. Robert Woods is gone from the Rams. Alex Mack's gone from the 49ers. And the big one, Russell Wilson, has left Seattle. So we will see what happens with the NFC West. Rob, we'll start with you this time. NFC West, what do you think is going to happen? There's some good teams, but there's some like really bad teams like Seattle.
I'm going to go with the Rams. Usually Seattle will give them, a run for their money without Russell Wilson and losing some players. I think it's going to be the Rams. I know Stafford had an elbow injury last week. Supposedly he's going to be okay. He's going to be good to go week 1. So I see the Rams taking it, missing Odell Beckham Jr. He might actually still come back. I just read yesterday that they actually have a locker set up for him, hoping that he'll come back. So, the coaching with McVay, is it McVay or McVay? Anyway, McVay is just amazing. He took that team, with 1-2 seasons right to the Super Bowl. So I think the coaching's amazing there, and I see the Rams winning the division.
All right, you're going to pick the Rams. I'm worried about Stafford's elbow. I'm kind of worried about that. I'm going to go with the 49ers. Even with Trey Lance, but I think we'll end up seeing Jimmy Garoppolo after a while. Mm-hmm. But the 49ers are just a solid team. They have a solid running back, solid wide receivers. Defense is great. And I think the Rams are going to take a step back, losing those 2 wide receivers. Allen Robinson is not going to replace what Odell did there. And you're right, Odell might be back.
He might.
Again, you got to remember the last time we saw him in the Super Bowl, he tore his ACL. Right. So the earliest we would probably see him back is sometime mid-season. So I think that's going to be tough. But then again, they signed Odell last year midseason, and he scored 7 touchdowns. But I'm really worried about Stafford. Offensive line, they had that offensive lineman who retired. Can't think of his name, but he was pretty good. They're actually trying to get him back now, I heard, out of retirement. But I'm going with 49ers. I think the 49ers are a good, solid team. Definitely not Seattle. Seattle's going to be horrible. And, the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals were my pick last year. That's right. My pick last year was Bills Cardinals. Losing Christian Kirk's going to be big. Marquise Brown is very underperforming when he was in Baltimore. He's not going to replace Christian Kirk. So it should be an interesting division. I'm going to go with the 49ers, though. Our boy Chris Ellis also, he went with the Rams. Oh, that's not a good pick, Chris. That's not a good pick at all.
I like
not
his
a good
pick.
pick. Not a good pick, man. All right. Let's switch over to the AFC. So that was the NFC. You know what? Let's do this. We haven't done Super Bowl predictions yet, but since we just finished the NFC, what NFC team do you think is going to come out of the NFC to represent?
I still like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as long as Brady's in the league. As long as he's in the league, he just finds a way. The guy hates losing more than anything in life. I'm sure he would give up his sons, his Giselle, the whole nine just for another Super Bowl. Brady is he's destined to win one more Super Bowl. So I'm going to say the Buccaneers.
I don't know what is with you and Tom Brady.
I'm not even a huge Brady
I think
fan.
You're hoping he breaks up with Gazelle so you can rob the shark in with Gazelle. I think that's what you're trying to.
Supposedly they were having problems. I don't know if that was rumors, but I don't know.
Yeah, they thought that's maybe why he was gone for a little bit, but I don't know. My upset pick, not only is Jameis Winston going to win the NFC South, he's taking the Saints to the Super Bowl. Wow. You heard it here first.
Wow.
Saints in the Super Bowl. Oh my goodness, the party can get started. Hey, last year, who thought the Rams were going to make the Super Bowl? None of us. None of us thought the Rams were going to be that great. We thought they'd be good. I
had them winning the division last year.
Okay, you had them winning the division, but you did not have them in the Super Bowl.
I did not.
You and your Tom Brady love could not get them into the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But my pick will be for the Saints, the NFC. So that being said, let's switch over to the AFC. We're going to start with the AFC East. Jabril Peppers joined the Patriots. Tyreek Hill is now a Miami Dolphin. Big pickup. And Von Miller has joined Buffalo. The only really losses was J.C. Jackson, the top corner for the Patriots, left. Other than that, I didn't see many key people that left the AFC East. So they're pretty stacked still. I'll start this one off. I think it's an easy choice. It's Buffalo. Nobody's going to touch Buffalo. You're adding Von Miller, a pass rusher now. And they're just a solid team. Josh Allen's a great quarterback. Running backs are doing great. We saw what Gabriel Davis could do in the playoffs, man. 3 touchdowns against the Chiefs in that one game. He's going to be a star in the making. Stephon Diggs is still there. Could you make any case for a team not the Bills to win this division, Rob?
I can. I do think the Bills are going to win the division, but I think it's going to be somewhat close. You got Mac Jones coming into his second, third season. You got amazing coaching from the Bills. I mean, you can hate him all day, but I got Belichick and Brady right up there as, the GOATs. And the Dolphins with Tyreek Hill and Tua coming to his own now, getting a little older. I think they're going to give him some competition. I don't see them winning the division, but I think it's going to be somewhat close, but I still have the Bills winning it.
Yeah, I actually think the Patriots are going to take a step back. I think Miami is going to be the number 2 team in that division. I saw an interesting stat. I was looking at stats before we came on the thing. Odell Beckham Jr. has 2 passing touchdowns of more than 40 yards. Tua only has 1.
Wow.
Interesting thing. But with Tyreek Hill there now, and you forget about their rookie last year, Jalen Waddle or Waddle, however you say his name. He had a great year. He was on my fantasy team.
He did.
Great for me. So now he's not the number 1 wide receiver. He's the number 2 wide receiver. So Tyreek Hill's going to get double teamed. He's going to be open up quite a lot. But it's definitely got to be Buffalo. Buffalo's got to be a favorite to win this division.
I picked up Gabriel Davis in every single fantasy league I'm in, so I expect good things from him.
I have a bunch of Chronicle rookie cards, though, and let me tell you. So hopefully he does well with that. All right, let's move over to the AFC. Well, Chris Ellis also says the Bills for the AFC East. Of course, because Chris picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl. But then again, they could have been wild card, I guess. So, all right, let's go to the AFC North. Last year, the Bengals won that division, first time in a long time. Key additions: Mitchell Trubisky is now quarterbacking at Pittsburgh. Deshaun Watson and Amari Cooper came to Cleveland. Big losses was Big Ben, and Baker Mayfield and Jarvis Landry left Cleveland. Also, Cincinnati picked up some offensive line, especially in the draft too. They really went after offensive line because that was their big Achilles heel last year, was that offensive line. Probably cost them a Super Bowl, really. I mean, the offensive line played okay, but Donald and them got some great pressure on them in that Super Bowl game. So with the new offensive line, Rob, let's start with you. Who do you got in the AFC North? Always a very competitive division.
Yeah, you just nailed it. I definitely have the Bengals winning it. They needed to fix that offensive line. They had I think they were the worst offensive line in the NFL by stats.
Worse than us?
Stacks and everything.
Wow.
And still made it to the Super Bowl. And they did improve that. So imagine that. I definitely see the Bengals winning it. We've got, the Steelers are dealing with, is Pickett going to play? They haven't even announced yet. Mitchell Trubisky. From what I gathered, they haven't even announced their starter yet. Is it going to be Trubisky? Is it going to be Pickett? So who knows what's going on there? But yeah, I got the Bengals. They improved on what they needed to improve on the line.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a very tough division, but I'm going with the Bengals too. This is the first time we've agreed, I think, on, besides the Bills. But I think the Bengals are going to win this as long as Burrow stays healthy. Burrow goes down, though. Well, that could be said about any team, really. You lose your starter. Yeah. Chris Ellis is reporting Trubisky is going to be the starter.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's true or not, but Chris Ellis reporting it, and I'll trust Chris on that one. But yeah, I think the Bengals are going to be the team to beat in this division, but it's going to be very tough. This division is always very tough, and we're forgetting about the Ravens. Ravens with Lamar Jackson, and they had a lot of guys hurt last year, like J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. Of course, yeah, they lost Ingram, but now they bring in two young guys who they were expecting to have big things last year for them. I see the Ravens doing pretty decent too. They'll be right in there. The Ravens will.
I have them at second. Yeah.
Second. Yeah, I think so too. Cleveland, if they had Deshaun Watson at the beginning of the year, maybe. If Watson can play like he used to play, which we haven't seen him over a year play, so we don't know how he's going to be. But if they had Watson and adding Cooper, plus the great running backs of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, the Browns could be a really factor in that division. And they might be a good factor in the second half of this division when they get Watson back. They might make some noise and upset some teams.
Yeah, and oddly, the Browns actually stack up really good against the other AFC North opponents. I was looking at some sims that some of the sites ran, and the Cleveland was winning the majority of the games in the division, not winning other games, but beating the teams in their division, which was strange. They just match up well against them. I still don't see them coming close to winning the division, but they're not a bad team.
No, there's not a bad team. And even the Steelers having, quarterback issues, the Steelers are always right in there with they're not going to tank, like our Giants do sometimes and some other teams. They are going to always be right in there when you got Mike Tomlin as their coach. So, all right, we're going to do another video now. We are buddy over at Mixed Tag Podcast. Keith White sent us a video, and we're going to take a look at that and see what Keith White chooses for his Super Bowl prediction.
What's up, guys? It's Keith White from Mixed Tag, a pro wrestling podcast, and you should check it out anywhere you get your podcasts. But I am here to talk about the Monday Night Huddle and this amazing football season that's coming up. I really think it's going to be one of the best ever. Teams are just stacked. A lot of teams are going to go in to the playoffs with aspirations and hopes and dreams as always, but I think a solid running game is going to once again prove to be the effective formula, and I think the AFC West is going to kind of obliterate itself during the season. I think some of the divisions are going to, benefit from a weaker situation in their area. So I think the NFC East, for one, is going to be the Eagles to take. And what I see at the very, very end of the season is going to be in the NFC. I think it's going to be a championship game between the Packers, who have a fantastic defense, and the Eagles. I actually think the Eagles are going to make some noise this year, provided everybody can stay healthy. I think Gardner Minshew is a good backup for the situation you've called for. But I see Aaron Rodgers, wide receivers, inexperience being an issue. And I think that Jalen Hurts and the Eagles squeak by. and by the way, I'm a Ravens fan, just so you know. This is not a homer pick. The AFC, I see the Colts. I actually see the Colts. I think running game is key. I think Jonathan Taylor is fantastic. They also have Matty Ice now, a veteran presence. He's going to be the most veteran presence in the conference at the very end of the situation, the playoffs there. And I think he's going to be going up against the Buffalo Bills, who are once again, unfortunately, going to let that whole area down and the whole nation of Canada. I just don't see them getting over the hump, and I think that we're going to have a Super Bowl of Colts and the Eagles. And my prediction is that somehow, some way, Philadelphia doesn't get their heart broken again. Wait, yes, they do actually this year. I think that Matty Ice gets his ring, finally, with Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman Jr. and a quality defense and a stout offensive line. I think it gets it done this year. Frank Reich takes one home for him as a head coach, and the Colts beat the Eagles, and we go again for another year. Appreciate it, Matt. Thanks for having me on, and can't wait to watch the show.
All right, that was our friend Keith White over at the Mixed Tag Podcast. Make sure you check out his podcast, Mixed Tag Podcast. They do a great job over there, especially if you're a wrestling fan. They do basically their podcast is all about professional wrestling, not only current but past wrestling. And Keith's a good friend of ours, even though his video looked like a hostage video a little bit. You know, he was kind of like he was one of those guys up against the wall saying you have to do this. Well, I kind of told him he had to do this, so that's kind of why probably. But he went with the Eagles and Colts, with the Colts winning the Super Bowl. Rob the Shark, I don't know if you heard that, but Keith White, our buddy Keith White, picked the Colts over the Eagles. Two interesting teams from our buddy Keith White, but he does a lot of research. But so we'll see if he is correct on his prediction as well. All right, let's go to the AFC South. Speaking of the Colts, down in the AFC South, it's probably like a two-team race. It's the Colts and the Titans. Key additions this year, Christian Kirk gone to Jacksonville, and of course Matt Ryan has gone to the Colts. Key losses, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones have left Tennessee. Carson Wentz has left Indianapolis. And, of course, Deshaun Watson has left Houston. Pretty much you have two teams to choose from, Rob, because Houston and Jacksonville are not going to compete. So who do you got for the AFC South?
I mean, it's definitely going to be close between the Colts and the Titans. I got the Titans. I mean, Derrick Henry is just an absolute beast. I am actually really going to watch a lot of Jaguars games, though, because I'm really interested to see what Trayvon Walker is going to do. But I definitely have the Titans winning the division. Close over the Colts, but I'm going with Titans. I'm
going with the Colts. You know, you got Jonathan Taylor. I think Matt Ryan's going to bounce back. He's going to be a little energized to be on a team that's actually trying to win, which the Falcons haven't been in a while. He's got some decent wide receivers there. You got Michael Pittman Jr., and I think T.Y. Hilton is still there. Great offensive line for the most part for the Colts. So I think they're going to do pretty well. And Tennessee, losing those two wide receivers, Tennessee is going to be even more of a running team than they usually are. You know, I think they probably drafted a wide receiver or two, but it takes rookie wide receivers a while really to get going in the NFL. Very few come right in and become instant playmakers like Jamar Chase or Odell Beckham was back in their days. But I believe the Colts, but I think the Titans will be right there as well. And Jackson, I don't know why you would watch a Jacksonville game. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a major bust. I really do. I am not. I was never a Trevor. I watched him in college, and all he did was throw screen passes to the wide receiver. And then his wide receivers are so good, they would make it into a 20, 30-yard game. But I hardly ever see him through past the line of scrimmage. I don't know why everybody thinks this guy's great.
I don't think he's that good either, but I think they're going to be an interesting team to watch. I don't think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be interesting to watch.
Right. Well, they're talking about their running back, Eton is back this year. He was supposed to be their starter last year, but got hurt. He was from Clemson. James Robinson took over and did pretty well, but Eton should be back in. So there are a lot of people are expecting big things from him. All right, let's go to the division that is probably the most stacked. And that is the AFC West. I mean, pretty much, I would like to see all these teams in the playoffs, really. All these teams, and put Buffalo in, and maybe Cincinnati, and there you have a great playoff system right there, folks, because the AFC is stacked. Key additions: San Diego added J.C. Jackson, the corner from Patriots. They added Khalil Mack, pass rusher. The Raiders added Devontae Adams, a big-time wide receiver. Kansas City only added Juju Smith-Schuster. And, of course, the other big one, Russell Wilson, is now the quarterback at Denver. Key losses mostly on the KC side. Tyreek Hill and Tyrann Mathieu leaving KC. I actually, it would not shock me if KC finished last in this division. It would not. Would it shock you? Not having Tyreek Hill?
It would shock me, yeah. The Raiders, though?
Derek Carr, the Raiders were a good team last year. Now you're adding Devontae Adams onto that team?
I still got the Raiders in last.
I don't know. I don't see Kansas City winning this division at all. It's got to be the Chargers. They look great. Herbert is looking great. They got all their wide receivers back. They have a great, Eckler's awesome. Now
great.
You're adding a great corner and a great linebacker to that defense, which already had Joey Bosa on that defense and some other players. That defense is going to be awesome. The Chargers, how could you not? I mean, you could pick other teams, but I think the Chargers got to be your pick.
It's not going to be my pick.
It's
going to be a surprising one.
Okay. Right. It's the Raiders.
No, it is not the Raiders. I got the Raiders in last. All right. Fun stat for you. Denver Broncos has the best home record in the National Football League. That thin air of Mile High Stadium, or whatever it's called now, is so underestimated. Now you take Russell Wilson, acclimate him to that, those heights and get his lungs going in that dominating home field advantage. I see the Broncos winning that division.
Really?
Jerry Jeudy, Russell Wilson, that is going to be a lethal combination for home games. Now, what's going to be weird is these teams are going to beat each other up, probably go 1-1 versus each other. So you would like to see the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Chargers, all there in the playoffs. But the problem is the records are going to offset. So we might not. The best, some of the best teams aren't going to make the playoffs.
No, that's what Keith White was saying. The AFC West is all going to beat each other up.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to have an easy game in the AFC West when you're playing other AFC West teams. You are not going to have an easy game. And you might, even the Raiders you say are going to be last. I think the Raiders are going to make the playoffs this year. They're going to be a tough out too. I mean, Derek Carr played great last year. You have Josh Jacobs still at running back. He's coming down a little bit, but the defense is still pretty good. And then you're adding Devontae Adams. That guy is a beast if he stays healthy. And just against Aaron Rodgers, you're adding Carr to it now. It's going to be. I think the Raiders are going to be tough to beat. I see the Raiders finishing second, really. But interesting choice on Denver. I mean, they added Russell Wilson. They also, they traded away a lot. They traded away their future, basically. Traded away a lot of draft picks. Of course, Drew Lock, but that's nothing. They also traded a tight end, Noah Fant, as well. But really, KC did not. I mean, when you're losing Tyreek Hill was such a big playmaker who made Travis Kelce's job easier, made everybody else, the running game better, everything better. Now you have Juju Smith-Schuster,
good old John
has not been the same for the last couple of years.
No.
He is nothing even close to Tyreek Hill. They are going to be triple teaming Kelce because there is nobody else on that team to catch the ball, folks. I think that's going to be huge losing Tyreek Hill. They don't have anybody to replace him. So it would not shock me if KC finished last. So would not shock me at all. All right. So that was our AFC West. You went with Denver and I went with San Diego. So Dave, tell me the AFC, or I'll go first on this, the AFC, who I think is going to not to win the Super Bowl, who's going to make the Super Bowl. That would be the Buffalo Bills are going to make the Super Bowl again. I'm like Chris Berman, always picking Buffalo Bills. I think the Bills, it's going to come down to the Bills-Chargers, which is going to be a heck of a game. If they come in out in the AFC Championship game, Bills-Chargers. But if the Bills get the home field advantage playing in Buffalo in January, I think whoever gets the home field advantage in the AFC between Bills and Chargers would probably win that game. If it's San Diego, I think San Diego would make it. But if it's Buffalo, I think Buffalo will take it. And Buffalo is going to have maybe just a tiny bit easier schedule because they get to play the Jets twice. That's the only point. They have one team where they're going to definitely get 2 wins. Chargers aren't going to be guaranteed any wins out of the AFC West. It's going to be a tough fought for all those wins, but Buffalo will make the Super Bowl for the AFC. Rob, who do you got for the AFC making the Super Bowl?
I'm going with my theory about this mile high air, and I think the Denver Broncos are going to play the Bills in the championship game. And if they can get the home field advantage, the Bills will lose to the Broncos at Denver. If it goes to Buffalo, the Bills will take it. But I have a feeling Denver is going to be the surprise team. Denver Broncos. And just a quick note, the CFL, we can't forget about our friends in the North. CFL, my prediction, Winnipeg Blue Bombers will three-peat, because I know everyone cares about the CFL.
I thought you were going to do your own CFL preview show.
No.
I was doing research to be ready for the show as a guest.
Montreal Alouettes, but the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will three-peat.
Okay, so you hear it first. No other preview show, NFL preview show, gives you CFL predictions as well. That is awesome, Rob. All right, we're going to take another quick break because we have our one more guest to come on and tell us who he thinks is going to make the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. That is our buddy Dave over at Zero Fox Sports Cards. He has sent us a great video, and we're going to take a look at that right now.
What's going on, everybody? Dave, Zero Fox Sports Cards. Hotbox Cards has asked us to come back. You're number 2 to give our predictions for who we think is going to be in the Super Bowl. Beating the Broncos will be the Bengals. Back-to-back Super Bowls for the Bengals. On the AFC side, NFC side will be the 49ers over the Buccaneers. And why will it be the 49ers? Because Trey Lance is going to start 0-3 or get injured, and Jimmy G is going to take over and come back and beat his mentor, TB12, to take the Niners to the Super Bowl and win it in a Super Bowl rematch of the Niners versus Bengals. Back to you, Hotbox.
All right, that's our buddy Dave over at Zero Fox Sports Cards. I'm telling you, his editing skills puts mine to shame over there. He has some great graphics. I need to hire his graphics person. That's what I need to hire. He has picked the 49ers with Jimmy G. Well, I also predicted Jimmy G would actually, you'll be seeing Jimmy G this year as well. 49ers over the Bengals. Rob, I don't know if you heard Dave's prediction, but he picked the 49ers over the Bengals. Interesting choice there. None of us picked the 49ers I picked them to win their division, but not to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So far we have 2 picks for the Bills because both Chris Ellis's picked the Bills, and we have a Colts pick and we have a 49ers pick. I like this year because last year everybody picked the Chiefs and Bucks except yours truly. But I like this year everybody's back and forth. So far, I don't think any of us picked. You picked the Bucks to make the Super Bowl, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So Rob, without further ado, you have the Bucks and the Broncos. Mm-hmm. Now, your Broncos are like my Saints. I picked the Saints to make the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Who do you have winning the Super Bowl between your 2 teams?
I got to go on the Brady train. I think Brady is going to do. He will murder his own child to win another Super Bowl. So if he doesn't do it this year, he's going to keep trying. But I've got the Broncos, which I think are going to be a surprise, but they're obviously not going to play at home for the Super Bowl. So I got the Bucks beating the Broncos.
All right. Those are words only from Rob, the Shark from RTS Sports Cards. The Hotbox Cards and Money Night Huddle do not condone killing your child to win Super Bowls, folks. I do not condone that. All right. This will be Rob's last appearance on the Money Night Huddle show.
Can I give my quick MVP guess here?
Sure. If you don't want to hear my Super Bowl pick, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Give me your MVP.
Graham Gano is going to be the first kicker MVP in the history of the NFL because the Giants are going to be so bad that Graham Gano is going to kick so many field goals.
Oh, my goodness. Don't you think the Giants might actually do better this year?
No,
I could see them getting ahead of Washington. Some people are predicting Daniel Jones to have a breakout season. We added a great offensive lineman. We had a great defensive end. We got a new coach. You got to be positive, Rob. Come on, man. You got to be positive.
You know who Gary Brightwell is?
Yes, he's our backup running back. He was a draft pick, I think, last
From
year.
the Viking? Was he from the Vikings or something?
No,
he was our pick. He was our
No,
pick.
it was our pick. It was
that's
our
right,
pick.
That's right. That's right.
Hold on one sec. I'll give you all the stats on Gary Brightwell.
Because when Saquon goes down, we've got Gary Brightwell.
He played at Arizona. He's only 23 years old, and he was born in Chester, Pennsylvania. He's a PA boy.
There you go.
Chester's out by Philadelphia.
I'd love for the Giants to do well, you know that, and I'm glad they picked up Evan Neal.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Neal, but you know that just. I mean, the coaching has always been horrendous the last few years. I mean, we had John Ross. I think I said this last year. We had John Ross III, who is the fastest man in the history of the NFL Combine. Ran like a 4.1, 4.2, whatever it was. And we threw to him like once a game, if that. Darius Slayton, maybe he was the number 1 pick. I believe Darius Slayton, number 1, number 2 pick.
I think it was like 2 or 3, yeah.
We threw to him like once a game. We had
Mike Glennon quarterbacking and Jake Fromm from State Farm quarterbacking.
No, we were throwing to these guys like once a game, and now we got rid of John Ross III. And I know we're not going to use Darius Slayton again. And we've got too many of these just above average wide receivers, Galladay and Shepard. They're good, but they're not great.
Yeah, they're trying to trade Slayton, actually.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
He's buried on the depth chart for some reason.
Will be a star for whoever he goes to.
I think so. I mean, that rookie year he had was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's gone downhill since. All right, my Super Bowl. Enough about the Giants, because Giants are not my Super Bowl pick. My Super Bowl pick, of course, I went with the Saints and Bills, and I am going with the Buffalo Bills, folks. Going with the Buffalo Bills. I think they're going to do it this year. Of course, my family is from upstate New York. They're all big Buffalo fans. I'm not a Giants fan, but I think the Buffalo Bills are going to take it this year, and there will be party in Buffalo. And those Buffalo fans, they party hard, man.
And they deserve it. They deserve it, especially after those 4 years in a row of losing. I think it was all NFC East teams, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was Cowboys twice, Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They deserve it.
Yeah. Hopefully they get it done this year, but going with the Buffalo Bills for my pick. So that is our NFL preview show. For any of you guys in the comments, let us know we know Chris Ellis, who he's picking. But if anybody else wants to tell us who they think is going to win the Super Bowl, love to hear that from you guys. Cardshark Chris, he had an emergency, and he is not going to probably be on, it looks like. So hopefully everything went good with him. Of course, we'll have him on again sometime in the future. He just did not want to go on record this year. I think that was it. He did not want to go on record about the things. You know?
And I spared you the bathroom shower this time.
Yes.
With the bathroom seat.
And
and my internet held up. Yeah,
I
was going to do it from the bathroom, the shower seat. I don't know why I like it so much. I was going to do it from there, but I thought it'd be a little weird.
Of course, Rob's in Atlantic City right now, getting ready to play some poker.
And my beer didn't come. I ordered beer to the room. It didn't come.
What the heck, man? What the heck? You can't expense that to the Monday Night Huddle show, though.
No, I can't send you a bill. It doesn't matter. I don't pay anyway.
Okay. 25 Perez says Tampa Bay will also win. 25 Perez saying Tampa's going out.
Good pick.
In the picks, but we'll see what happens about that. So, Rob, over at RTS, I know you have some breaks coming up soon. Tops Chrome, I think you said. Was that's 2022?
I think I'm going to lay back a little bit and go really heavy on the 2022 Tops Chrome. Should be a big set. I might do a player break, which is, a crapshoot. But, yeah, I might do a player break of the Diamond. Why can't I think of it? The Diamond one. Baseball Diamond one, Topps Diamond or whatever it's called. So look for that. But then I'm going to go really heavy in the Topps Chrome, a lot of jumbo boxes.
What about football? Can we get a football break?
I done a few football ones back in the day, and I just don't have the football audience. In fact, I remember my very first football break was 2019 Dunross mixed with a box of 2019 Topps Inception. I remember getting a Darius Slayton out of the Inception, and I got a Joe Montana autograph to 5 out of the Dunross box. Yeah, which only had one autograph. It was a Joe Montana to 5. Yeah.
But it's been 3 years, Rob.
Yeah, well, they weren't selling. I have to eat eventually.
I know, but I think you should try it once, man.
Yeah,
well, you do a football break. I will pay into the football break.
Okay,
and I will promote the football break on every Monday Night Idol show. so we can make sure we get
Okay.
that filled up for you.
We'll
How's
do.
that?
I'll try one more football.
Don't do any of those expensive ones though. I can't afford that, man.
All right.
Can't afford that expensive stuff.
No Prism.
No, well, unless you can get it cheap. You can get it cheap, okay.
No, no one can get it cheap.
Oh, that is awesome. All right, Rob, I want to thank you for being on, taking time out of your busy schedule. And we will check you out at RTS Sports Cards on YouTube. We'll catch you next time, Rob.
All right, take care, guys.
All right. All right, that was our buddy Rob from RTS Sports Cards. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel, RTS Sports Cards, and check out his eBay store as well. You can find a link on that on his YouTube channel as well. So make sure you check out that. Also, check out our other people that came on the show today. Zero Fox Sports Cards with Dave. He does an awesome channel, doing great box breaks, does some plays MLB, plays golf with me and stuff online. So check that out. Check out the Mixed Tag Podcasts, wrestling podcasts with our buddy Keith White over there at Mixed Tag. Check them out. And also don't forget to check out Chris Ellis, the card guy. He does he does a lot of videos, Chris Ellis does, and he should have a lot more subscribers than what he does, but he will be moving up the ranks. You'll hear more about him, and hopefully we'll get him to wear more NWO hats. I like that NWO hat, man. That was pretty cool. I love that, Chris. All right, guys, that's all the time I got for tonight. Our thoughts are out with Chris, with a Cardshark Chris. I know he has a family emergency going on right now. Hopefully everything went well with that tonight. But we'll have Cardshark Chris back on as soon as we can. All right, guys, that's all the time I got for tonight. Be safe and have a great night. And we'll be back next Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube and Facebook Live. And we'll be figuring out what we're going to open up next week. We'll go back to our normal, regularly scheduled show. All right, I'll catch you guys next